Ocholi, does attempt and failure, I attempted, does it justify not obeying to the letter what the court has ordered? I attempted and I failed.
I love your question, because law does not exist in a vacuum.
Simple.
Law is for the living. It's just like, let me go to biblical injunction. When Jesus healed somebody on the Sabbath and they said, on the Sabbath? He said something to them. He says that the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath.
Let me give a sentence from you, lawyer.
Yes.
You say that the law is blind. It goes where it ought to go.
Okay.
Now you are giving the law an eye to see.
Oh.
So making it blind.
The law has opportunities to have eyes that see. For instance, when you get into constitutional provisions and exceptions to those constitutional provisions, the law will have to remove the blindfold at those times. For example, when you come to declaring state of emergency, are we not experiencing some things in Nigeria and talking about who is right, who is not right? You now go to the law. Why were you able to declare state of emergency in a state? I know that's not the conversation. I'm just giving you exceptional circumstances. Then you have exceptional circumstances or where there's a state of war and the president does not have to wait for the Senate to convene to take certain decisions. You see, under the emergency rule, when you go into those, you are seeing that the law itself is not so cast in stone, like I said at the beginning, that is not amenable. So here is the deal. INEC cannot be said to be held or cannot be held
hostage,
hostage
by law.
Exactly, or culpable. Did INEC in fact fix a date for rerun in the affected polling units? And let me clarify an impression on the conversation we are having here. The election was not cancelled. The election was declared to be inconclusive because so and so polling units did not have the opportunity to exercise their
franchise. Now do they have?
Now, that's the point I'm coming to. So I have said, go and give them the opportunity to exercise that franchise. The question is, this order has different participants to it. It applies to not just INEC. INEC is to conduct, electorates are to vote, security personnel are to provide security. That means this order is multifaceted as to who should comply. So the question is, if you want to sue INEC for attempting 4 times and saying it has become impracticable, and we are going to rely on the existing results so that we do not continue, the practical questions that arises and which will lead to the conversation as to who is right, who is not right, is INEC. What did you do? INEC will file an affidavit. INEC will show you how they announced the election on the date it will happen. INEC will show you all they deployed to have the election on the day it will happen. INEC will, even if they won't, give you the budget of what it costs the Federal Republic of Nigeria to conduct this election. Then the question becomes, what now happened when we went to the field? When you begin to see that, you see that the different actors that should play a role, even the Federal Republic of Nigeria should be sued. Why? The Federal Republic of Nigeria, the commander-in-chief is commanding-in-chief even there. The Inspector General of Police and his men, who are supposed to ensure that these elections can hold. So this is a question too practical to be sentimental about. So we cannot just say there's a court order, there's a court order. If there's nobody in society, where will court order apply? So these are the questions. Whether the propriety of whether INEC should have in fact relied on the initial result or go to court and say it's impossible to obey your order. Those are legal questions that cannot come up. But to say simplicity that INEC is wrong, come on. We live in this very country. How many persons have we lost to electoral violence or issues related to election? Let's be very practical about it. Did INEC in fact obey the order of court? They did. Then they met a roadblock. And in their view, they now came up with the best possible solution that they thought they would have. And if you look at Adeleke and Oyetola, if you look at the fine lines of that judgment, you will see indeed that when rerun is ordered, INEC can only conduct it as much as practicable. In this case, the question I will have is, did INEC indeed, in fact, do the best they would within their power to conduct this election? The answer is yes. The answer is not just yes. The answer is yes 4 times. So perhaps my law is not that deep.
No,